Hunter Biden's former Burisma business partner, Devon Archer, appearing for a closed-door interview before the House Oversight Committee today. That gets underway 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Maria reporting exclusively on Sunday Morning Futures that the DOJ ordered Archer to report to prison before his testimony. Maria spoke with House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer on Sunday Morning Futures about this unprecedented event.
It's odd that it was issued on a Saturday, and it's odd that it's right before he's scheduled to come in to have an opportunity to speak in front of the House Oversight Committee and tell the American people the truth about what really went on with Burisma. It's very troubling, and I believe that this is another violation of the law. This is obstruction of justice, but nevertheless, we're going to continue to move forward.
The Justice Department now backtracking, writing in a new letter that Archer must be free to testify before being sentenced. Joining me now, Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. She's a member of the Ways and Means and Small Business Committees. Congresswoman, your reaction? I mean, the DOJ, this is a real quick about face. I mean, even Devon Archer's attorney is issuing a statement after all of this and saying, we don't really think this is intimidation. There is that. They say we're aware of speculation. The Department of Justice's weekend request to have Mr. Archer report to prison is an attempt by the Biden administration to intimidate him in advance of his meeting with House Oversight. To be clear, Mr. Archer does not agree with that speculation. There's a lot of back and forth now. What do you say to all of this?
Yeah. Well, if you were Archer's attorneys, you'd be saying the same thing, because you're having to negotiate with those folks. You're going to, I'm sure, file another appeal. And these are the people that he's going to be negotiating with. So, of course, he's not going to, hurl accusations at them as true as they may be. But again, this is just a number of different ways that the DOJ has stood in between actually showing evidence that would convict the Bidens of crimes. We have seen this over and over again for at least 10 years. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee. We have heard from numerous whistleblowers now who have shown ways that leaders up in the IRS, DOJ, and FBI have squelched, absolutely squished down any attempts to be able to find the Bidens guilty of any crimes. And here's the problem. Under the Trump administration, they were using fake dossiers. They were using FISA courts. They were using wiretaps, looking for smoke. Under the Bidens, they have found fire, and they've done everything they have to put it out. It's an absolute two-tier system. And you've got to follow the money. Where is the money coming from? There's potential $50 million that has found its way into 10 members of the Biden family through 20 shell corporations. Who's supplying that money? Is it China? It would seem to be, from a number of different bank statements and records, from messages that we've gotten, who hopefully Devon Archer is going to be able to testify in another 3 hours. But follow the money to find out where this influence is coming from.
Well, do you think that all of this that transpired over the weekend will affect Devon Archer's testimony today? Because this is both sides. It's going to be 4 hours, we're told. Chad Program from the News Channel reporting this. There's an hour for the Republicans, an hour for the Democrats, back and forth. I mean, do you think that this will have an effect on him today?
That's between he and his attorneys. I would hope not. I would hope that he is interested in pursuing the truth and recognizing the fact that the only way to get transparency, and the only way it seems to have the DOJ, FBI, and IRS be able to do their jobs, is to have this out and about in the public, because that's what we've had to do. You've had to see congressional oversight to push these agencies to just do their job. So it would be in Mr. Archer's best benefit to tell the truth and make sure that they know exactly what's going on, that they have the evidence of how that's connecting Hunter to Joe Biden and Joe Biden's influence peddling, pay for play. I think it would be in Mr. Archer's best interest to be able to tell the truth.
All right. Well, we shall see what we learn. Again, it's closed-door testimony, so we don't know what we'll find out, but we hope something. All right. So a New York Post report finding that the administration's tough talk that anyone who turns up at the border requires an appointment through the CBP One app is all bluster. A border agent in Texas telling the Post they want to paint the picture that the only way in for migrants is with an appointment, but that's not true. Congresswoman, you're helping hold a job fair in a week. Border Patrol is going to be there. They've got 2,000 jobs that are open. So I wanted to ask you about this Post report ahead of what you're planning to do and what you're planning to hold.
Well, I think what it shows is how necessary these jobs are to make sure that we're getting those 2,000 jobs filled. Right now, the humanitarian crisis that they're facing at the border is horrendous for these officers, which is why you have seen some of the highest numbers of suicide rates in the last 2.5 years. We need to get those positions filled, and I'm happy to be able to do my part in that. We've got over 300 businesses that are going to be at our job fair. We've got over 10,000 job openings. 2,000 of them need to be filled immediately. We have seen, a 5-year-old just this past weekend come up to the border, and she's obviously been groomed. She was told that she was looking for her mom. That's where she was being sent, even though her mom had already died. This is what we're seeing at the border as a direct result of open border policies. When you go down to the border and you talk to Customs and Border Protection, they will tell you they are prevented from doing their jobs now, and it's leading to hardships. But we're going to do everything that we possibly can August 7th at the Irving Convention Center to make sure that we're getting people connected with opportunities and making sure that Customs and Border Protection have the number of jobs that they need to be able to do the job to protect our country.
I applaud you because the reports that we've seen of divorce and alcoholism and suicide from Border Patrol agents is heartbreaking because of the pressure that they feel. They don't feel like, the administration has their back, and frankly, it doesn't seem that they do. I do want to ask you about this because the House passed a bill last week which bans the Department of Homeland Security from using drones made by foreign adversaries like China. We had Gordon Chang on earlier in the show, and he said, absolutely, this is the right move. Excuse me, it was Tom Homan. Tom Homan said, absolutely, that's the right move. You don't want Chinese technology and drones over the southwest border. Your reaction to that move?
Well, absolutely. I mean, basically what they are is another form of espionage and spying by the Chinese government. And when we've seen these open border policies and be able to enrich and empower not just the drug cartels, the sex trafficking cartels, but also China, where we're seeing fentanyl coming in at untold amounts. Hundreds of thousands of people in our country alone that have been affected, who have been killed by that drug. The last thing you want to do is leave another opening for Chinese spy areas along our southern border. Absolutely, especially when you see so many people who are coming in now illegally from China.
Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne of Texas. It's great to see you, Congresswoman. Always love talking with you. Please come back soon.
Have a great week. Thank you.
All right.